Jadaveon Clowney has been a Carolina Panther for less than 24 hours, but he's already having a big impact on this team.
Oh, man, it's crazy you say that. Yeah, I have. I'm trying to get him to pull up, too. I was like, man, we need to do the Rock Hill thing over, South Carolina thing over, try to get him to come on home again with me and have some fun, man. I think we can turn this thing around and have a good time here and, look for something great for this upcoming season.
Signing one of the most coveted edge rushers that was left on the market, it was already a good thing, but the fact that the potential of him recruiting his former teammate to come play corner will just be the icing on the cake. Reports already came out the other day that Stephon Gilmore and the Carolina Panthers had been in discussion on a potential reunion. And this is before the Panthers had even solidified their signing with Jadeveon Clowney. Now, Jadeveon Clowney is going to have a huge impact on the field for the Carolina Panthers as well. Even at the age of 31, he's coming off a season where he had 9.5 sacks, which is tied for a career high, and had over 78 pressures for the Baltimore Ravens. So I know some Carolina Panthers fans may have some PTSD because last year we signed a former Raven who is a veteran pass rusher to come and join the squad, and it didn't work out too well. But I'm here to say that Jadeveon Clowney is younger and he has a lot more juice left in the tank to be able to help this Carolina Panthers team. Since the Carolina Panthers traded away Brian Burns, they've been looking for a replacement for his production, and of course they picked up DJ Wanham, a former South Carolina Gamecock in himself, but they still were on the hunt for a bona fide guy to come off the edge that can make defenses adjust and have to account for on any given play. And getting Jadaveon Clowney was just what the doctor ordered, bringing the South Carolina product back home. But getting that edge rusher was good, but it left one glaring hole that the Panthers probably needed to address, and that was the cornerback position. After trading away Dante Jackson to the Pittsburgh Steelers, they had some work to do, but they ended up picking up Dane Jackson in free agency from the Buffalo Bills, who was a rotational guy, has a lot of starting experience in his career, but for the most part has been a depth piece, and it would be a push come to shove to have him as a starter out there for us. Of course, they still have J.C. Horn on the roster, but only playing 22 games out of potential 51 in his career leaves the Panthers with something that needed to have some depth and starting caliber corners on this roster just in case. Again, getting a guy like Stephon Gilmore will be just what the doctor ordered. Even at the age of 33, Stephon Gilmore is still playing solid ball. He may not be the same defensive player of the year he was back in 2019, but this guy is still an upper tier starting caliber corner and a guy that I know the Panthers could definitely use. If you remember, the Carolina Panthers acquired Stephon Gilmore for a 6th round pick a few years back, and he had a phenomenal year playing in 9 games and actually making a Pro Bowl even in a short stint with the Panthers. But that offseason, they still weren't able to work out any kind of long-term deal under Scott Fitter and Matt Rule, and even though Stephon Gilmore clearly wanted to return to the team, he put it out there on wax that he wanted to do that, they still wasn't able to materialize, and it seems like they chose Dante Jackson over Stephon Gilmore. Like I said before, it'd be very, very ironic in the same offseason that they got rid of Dante, they picked back up Stephon Gilmore. All that aside, Jadaveon Clowney and Stephon Gilmore actually played together in high school at South Point High up in Rock Hill, which is very, very close to the Charlotte area. And they both actually went to the University of South Carolina and played for the Gamecocks themselves, and Gilmore and Clowney had been on record and had been talking to each other. Clowney said today in his press conference that he had kind of talked to Gilmore about his experience playing in Carolina in prior years, and just how Gilmore told him that it was a good place to be when you move close to back home, and it's a lot easier for your family to be able to see you, and it's a lot cheaper to have to pay for tickets and not have to pay for flights. Jadaveon Clowney also said that he talked to Gilmore and told him that he needed to go ahead and join the team, and Gilmore actually responded and said that he was trying to get back with the team. So when you hear that there's been conversation and mutual interest before, and then Jadaveon Clowney puts it out there on wax that Stephon Gilmore wants to come back, fans are thinking like, what are they waiting for? And it seems like Jadaveon Clowney really was applying pressure to Gilmore to try to get it done. And it seems like that conversation could lead to more and more influence of Stephon Gilmore coming. Now, the Lions apparently have a need at the cornerback position, so they have been potentially coveting Stephon Gilmore. And from what I've been hearing, and I don't really have no legit sources, I just know what I hear and people tell me things, that is pretty much going to be almost a shoe-in for Stephon Gilmore. They have some paperwork and some logistics they have to wear out. Both sides really want to get things done. It's just the initial offer from Carolina wasn't really what was desired. But it seems like things are trending in the right direction. I've said it before and some people got offended, but I'm not gonna lie. Charlotte is not the most attractive destination for a 20-something-year-old millionaire. I know if I was one of them type of dudes that was a playboy millionaire back then, I wouldn't want to be there. There's other cities that have NFL teams that probably are a little bit more desirable. But a 30-something-year-old family man that's not living that fast life, that wants to kind of settle down and focus on ball and kind of look at the backside of his career, just find some place he wants to settle down, it's the perfect place. And it's not just because those guys are hometown heroes. Look at Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen's a 30-something-year-old guy that lived up in Minnesota, back in home for a while, but now he's in Carolina. He spent the whole offseason down here in Charlotte as well, and he really, really likes the area in the city. 30-something-year-old family man. Gilmore has already put it on record that the Carolina Panthers was his favorite team growing up. He has plenty of family and friends that have season tickets anyway, so I think that just sweetens the pot. Outside of all that, Stephon Gilmore would give the Carolina Panthers a starting caliber corner that would be, like I said, a blessing as they go into the draft, because that was really their only last glaring hole. The Panthers front office have done a good job of addressing pretty much every hole on the roster. Now, they can go into the draft and not feel pressure or forced to go get things. Sometimes we talked about, and I think the terms have been used, not going grocery shopping hungry. The Carolina Panthers have gone into certain drafts in the past with their mind made up. Now they can actually go BPA at whatever position they want to go during the draft, because I know the Panthers have done a good job with filling holes, but they still need a roster overhaul. So much damage has been done for missed draft picks over the years. They need talent all over the place. There's a reason and a case to be made to draft pretty much any position on this team that you can think of, and they really need to address wherever they can and find some good contributing players in this draft. And Dan Morgan has already been on record saying they wanted to go BPA, so being able to address all your needs before the draft is the perfect strategy, because the only way to really truly build a sustainable roster is you have to hit on some draft picks and have guys contributing on rookie deals. I talked about how the Panthers got into the mess of having draft picks that they just pretty much blew, and what they had to do was to go into free agency and spend money to try to address those picks that they missed. And then once those free agents miss, they have dead money on the books. Now you don't have picks and you don't have money to spend, and you're in a hole. You end up being the worst team in football last year. So I'm looking forward to the Carolina Panthers not being dramatic and desperate on draft weekend and really sitting back, because they can even put everything on the table. If they want to go BPA, they can. If they want to trade back to get more picks, I would be highly behind making that type of move, because the Panthers need as many top 100 picks as possible, because when you have top 100 draft choices, those dudes have the highest opportunity of contributing to your team very, very early, and Lord knows we need guys that can do that. You guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about a potential Stephon Gilmore addition and signing to this team. Are you excited about him and Jadeveon Clowney? How you feel about Jadeveon Clowney doing that recruiting? It really sounds like he's motivated and excited to be back home and really, really ready to help us compete. He was talking about anything can happen in the league, man. It's built to have these turnarounds, and he wants to be a part of that. So I'm really excited hearing what Jadeveon has to say. I want to get you guys' thoughts down below in the comments. So without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. My name is Aaron Duckett. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I'll see you next time. Peace.